Hey gorgeous lady, Lindsay Dam here with Online Fertility Coach. I am a nutritional therapy practitioner and an energy worker, a body worker, and I empower women to restore their fertility, to bring their bodies into full balance physically, emotionally, and energetically so that they can restore their fertility and get pregnant naturally. So I want to talk to you today about identifying your fears and limiting beliefs around getting pregnant. This is a conversation that I found myself having a lot lately, and I really wanted to just kind of bring some insight and provide you with a simple exercise you can do to at least identify where some of your fears are coming from. So a lot of the women that I talk to and a lot of women that I work with have either had period problems or they are worried that they maybe are not going to be a good enough parent or a mother, and they're worried that maybe they won't ever become pregnant, or if they do, maybe they'll have difficulties within their pregnancy, and there's just a lot of fear around that. So that doesn't necessarily stem from maybe having had difficulty getting pregnant. Maybe it stems from some other limiting belief that you've been brought up with and have been carrying around subconsciously that has nothing to do with fertility or pregnancy by any means, but that can certainly impact and prevent us from being able to get pregnant, from being able to maintain a pregnancy. So that's just something that I have seen so much. And in my practice, I used to kind of bring this energy work, emotional work piece out after I'd been working with my clients for a while. But now, I mean, after seeing so much transformation and the transformation that my clients have just right away, they are able to make incredible progress and huge strides in the health of their body and being able to get pregnant. Some of my clients get pregnant right away after we start doing some of this type of work together. So I just want to bring it to the forefront. Like, here it is. This is for you and something for you to explore within yourself. So I'm a huge fan of writing things down and journaling for making discoveries and making breakthroughs. So what I'm going to show you today is a simple just journaling exercise. All you need is a piece of paper, and I will guide you through this simple exercise. And if you're wondering what on earth any of this has to do with your pregnancy, well, if you look at esoteric anatomy, if you look at the chakra system, your seat of emotions rests at your second chakra. And guess what lies right in there on a physical level? That's your womb. Your seat of emotions rests at the level of your womb. So it's so incredibly important to make sure that there's good positive flow within your emotional body. And you could be holding on to something you had no idea you're holding on to. You could be holding on to emotions from some kind of a trauma that you had, whether it was self-inflicted. I certainly include body shaming as being a self-inflicted trauma. And I used to shame myself all the time. And it's still something, it's a constant practice. But I used to shame my body, and when I would say things like, gosh, you're fat, or you're ugly, I used to say this to myself, and it kind of like makes me teary-eyed and brokenhearted to even admit this right now. But in high school and junior high, I used to think I was fat. I look at pictures of myself now, and goodness, the body dysmorphia is a pretty wild thing. But if you think about your very best friend, and if she comes to you and tells you that, you're kind of looking a little heavy around the area, or you really need to do something about those extra lbs, or you've got a wrinkle or gray hair, it's not going to make you feel very good, is it? Like, you can feel, and when someone says something bad to you, you can feel how bad, even just thinking about it, how much that brings you down. Like, that's ridiculous, particularly if it's someone you don't know or care about. Like, that's not gonna have that impact. But if it's someone that you really admire and trust and look up to, and they say that to you, it's crushing. It is soul crushing. And if you now think about the impact that has, think about how that impacts your body when you say stuff like that to yourself. So your body's your very best friend. She shows up for you every single day with what you give it, what you feed her, what you put on her, and what you tell her. No matter what, she still shows up for you, and she does 100%. She gives you all that she has to give you with everything that you've given her. So she's doing the best that she can. And so I really want you to honor her and everything that she's done. So when I say, body shaming or talking bad about yourself as a trauma, I very much mean that, because that's a trauma that we've inflicted on ourselves. And it might be from other outside influences, but we've still put that upon ourselves, and that will get stored in our bodies, and oftentimes it's in the area of our womb. So now we get up to this age where we're in our 20s or we're 30s, and we want to have children, and we want to be the mom that we've known we were meant to be our entire life, but we're still holding on to those beliefs. You might not even be aware of it, but those things you told yourself when you were a teenager, you are very much still probably holding on to. And your body now thinks that it's not good enough or it's not worthy enough. So it's not going to feel supported, and it's not going to be able to really do this thing that you now want so much, which is to become a mom. So this is a huge part of my work and in helping my clients recognize this and release this. Now, that's just one example of a trauma, and that's a self-inflicted. There are other traumas that can be certainly inflicted upon us, like sexual assault. This is very near to and dear to my heart, because I actually got pregnant from a sexual assault, and so it was a huge processing for me. And so this helping women overcome traumas so that they can in turn around and become a mother. Like, this is very, very near and dear to my heart. So, and I've lived through it and I've experienced it. So, and your trauma does not have to be, anything as extreme as that by any means. It could be a car accident. It could be, falling down and twisting your ankle and the emotions you felt around that. So again, it might not necessarily have anything to do with your reproductive health, but it could just be stuff that you're holding on to from whatever a trauma looks like for you. So with that being said, I would like to give you this exercise. I've been doing this with groups in my group, and then also with people one-on-one. It's been very, very insightful. So I really hope you enjoy it. So for this, you'll just need your journal or a piece of paper. And what I want you to do is I want you to draw a line right down the middle of your piece of paper. And so on the left side of the piece of paper, I want you to write all the reasons why you're not pregnant. So why you're not, or why I'm not pregnant. Oh, thank you so much. I can't see who's on here, but thank you so much for the love. It doesn't tell me who's watching, but I so appreciate. Oh, it's Lakeisha. Hi, Lakeisha. Thank you so much, my dear. Okay, so if you're just catching, I'm gonna have you take a piece of paper, draw a line right down the middle, and on the left-hand side, reasons why I'm not getting pregnant. And you could do this for any area of your life. You could do this for reasons why I'm not attracting clients, reasons why I keep fighting with my partner, or reasons why I'm not sticking to my goals or to my diet or the lifestyle regime that I'm trying to implement. You could do this for absolutely anything. So this has been, again, very insightful for my clients about pregnancy, and it's been helping them realize a lot of the fears that they have. So what I want you to do is just write on this left side of the piece of paper reasons why you're not getting pregnant. And they could be, something like maybe you have a diagnosis. And diagnoses are great because they can help you put together, or they can help a healthcare professional put together an appropriate nutrition and lifestyle plan for you. That's one of the things that I do with my clients. But they can also be detrimental because all of a sudden you've got this diagnosis and it's like this big gray cloud over your head, and you think that you can't do anything because you have this fucking diagnosis. And that's absolute fucking bullshit. You can do anything you want. I don't care what your diagnosis is. Not to sound harsh, but I want to be very real here. Like, you do have a diagnosis, and that is great in terms of putting a treatment plan together, but you also having a diagnosis does not tell what your future is going to look like by any means, okay? What you do with that, and the importance, the impact, the pedestal that you put that diagnosis on, that's what's going to have an impact over how much that diagnosis really affects you. So it could be huge and massive and ever looming, or it could be something small that's just a part of your path. You know, it could be a giant roadblock and you're never gonna get to where you want to go because you have that diagnosis, or it could just be a little bump in the road. That's your choice. That is 100% your choice. Now, yes, the emotional and the mental mindset that you have around that is massive, but that also doesn't take away from the nutritional protocol or the lifestyle recommendations to also help that. Nutrition, lifestyle, and consciousness are the three main pillars of what's going to transform your fertility. And guess what? You're in charge of all of that. Like, that's you. So I really encourage everyone to take their power back around their fertility, because you have the biggest impact on your fertility by what you put in your body, what you put on your body, what you tell your body. So again, if you have a diagnosis, yes, that can very much, that is a reason why you might not be getting pregnant. So put that on there. But that was a little bit of a soapbox rant on how big you make that in your mind. That diagnosis could be a giant roadblock and you're never going to get past it, or it could be just a little bump in the road that might just slow things down, but you're still going to get to point B. Okay, so put that down there on one of your reasons. If you have a diagnosis, maybe it's Hashimoto's, maybe you have a hypothyroid, maybe you have endometriosis, PCOS, maybe you have a completely different diagnosis, and intuitively, maybe that's just going to be one of the things that comes down on your list of why you're not getting pregnant. But and you may be wondering, if we're doing, I do a lot of manifestation. I am huge into law of attraction. So you might be wondering why I'm putting this emphasis on the negative, and we're going to switch that around into a positive. But you've got to identify what's going on. And your pen, this right here, is a doorway to your subconscious. So by writing it down, you're going to be getting so many other things coming out of your pen. So just start writing the things that consciously are preventing you from getting pregnant. Or maybe it's preventing you from ovulating, or preventing you from having a period, or preventing you from taking that leap of faith that in your heart you're meant to take. Again, this doesn't have to be around for fertility, but this is my focus, so you can do this for any area of your life. But you're going to identify a lot of the fears and limiting beliefs around your ability to get pregnant by doing this exercise. So on the left side of your piece of paper, write down all the reasons why you're not getting pregnant. And as you start writing the ones that are on the forefront of your mind consciously, all this other subconscious stuff that's been hanging out and it's been lurking back there is going to start to come out. And you need to be aware of this so that you can release it and start to heal that. Okay? So take a couple minutes, write that down. Hopefully, maybe you've been writing down as I've been talking here, going over my little soapbox spiel about how big or small diagnoses can be, and that's your choice to make them big or small. Hopefully you listened, and hopefully that didn't sound too harsh, but you know what, that's very real. That's how I believe. And I've been in the health and wellness industry for 17 years. I very much believe that. I've been around a lot of people. I've had my hands on thousands of bodies. And I have seen people completely transform their lives because they got a diagnosis and they were like, okay, that's fine. great, I have an answer, but they didn't take up, it didn't control their life. And I've seen the flip side of that, where I've seen people, they got a diagnosis and it completely controlled every single aspect of their life, and all of a sudden they were limited in what they could do because they had this diagnosis and they fed into it. That's completely your choice. All right, I know I've hit the nail on the head, but that's like, I've seen this for so many years, so it's something that I really very much value. Okay, so on the right side of this piece of paper, what I want you to do is I want you to turn all those reasons why you're not getting pregnant that you listed on the left side of the piece of paper, and I want you to turn them into positive statements. How can you turn that diagnosis into something positive? How can you, essentially make it the opposite, right? And you could even go even further than that. We could even make like a little sub-column. I'll show you here. Okay. So what I've done is I drew another line. So I've got this little column right in here in between the reasons why I'm not getting pregnant. This is going to be the reasons why I can get pregnant. That's what this line is going to be here. I know it's backwards when I show it to you, but the writing, but I'll still write it down anyways. And in this middle column, what I want you to do is I want you to look at all the reasons why you're not pregnant. This is going to be your universal truth column right here. So that looked like I was giving you the middle finger, and I promise you I wasn't. Right here is the universal truth column. So I want you to look at every single reason why you're not getting pregnant or why you're not achieving what it is that you want to achieve. And I want you to ask yourself, is this an absolute universal truth that I cannot achieve my dreams? I cannot get pregnant because of this. And is that a truth? And I want you to be very honest with yourself, and I want you to look deep. I'll tell you right now that it's not a truth, that it's a total lie that has been perpetuating subconsciously for you. But I want you to feel it, and I want you to really truly believe that that is not a truth. Or maybe you do believe it is a truth, and that's going to continue to be a roadblock, and that'll be something to continue working on. But is it a universal truth that because I have Hashimoto's, we'll say for an example, that I cannot get pregnant? Well, have other people that have had Hashimoto's gotten pregnant? You bet they have. So, I mean, is that a universal truth that because you have it, you can't get pregnant? Like, is that really what you feel? So, I certainly hope it's not, but I want you to feel it. You need to feel that within your heart and write that down. And then what I want you to do is after you write that universal truth, write down why you can get pregnant. Okay? So I'm writing this down right now. So this is an awesome assignment for you to do. So you're gonna write on the left side, reasons why I'm not getting pregnant. Boom, 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 all of those. You're gonna have a bunch of stuff coming out through your pen subconsciously that you didn't even know you were holding on to. In the middle here, this is the universal truth. That's just gonna be a yes or no. Is it universally true? I'm gonna make this up into a workbook and it'll look a lot prettier than my handwriting here. But this looks beautiful anyways. Yes or no? So is it universally true that you are not gonna be able to get pregnant because of what you wrote over here? Yes or no? I really hope the answer is always gonna be no. I know that it's no for you, but you need to feel it and you need to believe it. And if you believe that it's universally true that you won't, then there's some more work to do for that. And that's okay. That's good. Like, this is where we start, right? This is absolutely where we start. So now then on the right-hand side, I want you to list all the reasons why you can get pregnant, right? And then every day I want you to feel these reasons, look at them, feel them, read them, put this on your mirror, write these down, put them in your bathroom, put them in your car, put them in your wallet, wherever, so you'll see them. And reinforce in yourself. These can now become your positive affirmations. Why can you get pregnant? I can get pregnant because I absolutely deserve to be a mother. That's a universal truth right there. I can get pregnant because I am healthy, I am balanced, and I am loved. That's a universal truth right there. I can get pregnant because I love. I am love. It always stems back to love. So write those down. You can write down, what I say. Write down also what comes from your heart. Right? Always follow from your heart. So I would love to hear what you discover from this. I would absolutely love to hear what you discover. This is going to be incredibly insightful because it's only when you identify your limiting beliefs and what's holding you back mentally and emotionally that you're going to be able to move forward. Nutrition and lifestyle plays a massive role in your ability to get pregnant, but they are 2 legs of the 3-legged fertility stool, right? So this is like my work with people. So you have 1 leg of your fertility stool is nutrition, the other leg is lifestyle, the other leg is your consciousness. That's your emotional health, your mindset, your limiting beliefs, your fears, all of that. And if you don't have one of those legs of a 3-legged stool, what's going to happen to the stool? It's not going to be very balanced, is it? You're not going to be able to add anything to it, right? So we really need to get some balance going on in there, and this is really going to be incredibly insightful for you. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Lindsay with Online Fertility Coach. I have a freaking awesome Facebook group called Get Pregnant Naturally, Holistic Tips for High Vibe Babes. I would love to see you over there. If you found some insight, please come and say hi or send me a private message and connect. I love you so much, and I thank you so much for being the bright light that you are. And let's get you pregnant. Bye.